Hi, everyone, and welcome to For the Love of the Map. I'm your host, Julia, aka Sweet Tea.
I'm your host, Marla, and together we are your non-stop connection to everything supernatural.
With 2.5 years of experience and over 8,000 combined workout sessions, we test it all so you can get right to the fun. Hey, everyone, this is Sweet Tea, and I'm going to tell you a little story. About 1.5 years ago, Marla batted around the idea to start a podcast, and I thought she was crazy. But at the beginning of the year, she said, "Go buy your stuff. We're doing this." And the rest is history. So here's a recap over our last 20 episodes. I hope you enjoy it.
So I was thinking, if we just start a podcast going into our favorite workouts, into how long we've been doing supernatural, whatever, some people would probably have no idea what is happening.
A podcast? We want to start a podcast? Are you kidding?
You could explain to the people who don't know what supernatural is, maybe a little bit about what supernatural is. How about that? Put you on the spot.
Supernatural. So you put this white box on your face.
Yeah.
Over your eyes.
Okay.
You have 2 controllers, one in each hand.
Mm-hmm.
And you go in and for me, it was Leanne. She just pops up. She tells you what to do. But you go into a workout and this beautiful round portal opens up in front of your face. And out comes white and black targets with cones that look like balloons. The cones.
Yeah, fair.
And you just turn your brain off. You go move, you dance. Sometimes you're boxing, sometimes you're flowing, and you just move and you have fun and you sweat and you are transported into these places. You've got to tell them about the places. Tell them about the places.
There's so many places, but because you have this box on your face, this headset on your face, and it's VR, so it looks so real. It's such great quality. You really are transported to these other places. Personally, I like the made up places, the sci-fi worlds, the not real environments. That's my preference, but you can look all around it. 360, you can look all around and you feel like you're there. And then you have the music, then you have the coaches coaching you the whole time and giving you affirmations and all these positive things that you need to hear. And because you're moving, because you're sweating and all these things are happening all at once, it's like your brain, like Julia said earlier, your brain turns off, but it also opens up and allows you to accept all of this positivity that you had no idea you needed in your life, first of all. But it just like absorbs it like a sponge. And I know for me, that is probably the reason I love Supernatural the most. This was our first episode and it was fun.
It was fun. And I'm so glad, for those that tuned in. Thank you guys. On episode 2, Marla and I discussed the importance of community.
I think that we should talk about the community on Facebook, like the official Supernatural community. That's how you and I met.
Yeah, very true. We sure did.
That's how we interact with the coaches outside of the headset, making posts and interacting with other athletes, finding people to add to your leaderboard. What else? There's like a million things that happen on the community page. People post videos.
A lot of things. Yeah.
So many things.
I think that before you find it, you don't realize it, but you kind of feel alone. And then when you find the community, which took me a week to find the community when I first started. So that's very interesting. And I don't remember what cued me in to even think. I think I just sat down and was like, well, I wonder if they have a place on Facebook, where I can connect with other people because I'm loving this so much. So I need to find, other people. And when you don't have other people that love what you're doing and you can connect with, you just kind of feel alone. So to find your people and to find the group of like-mindedness is, I believe, very important to your supernatural journey.
It is, for me, definitely an obsession, where it's like you're thinking about the workouts. And this was after a week. And that's
Yeah.
why I went searching, because I was like, there's got to be other people who want to talk about this. I need
Mm-hmm.
people to talk to. And I wanted to learn all of the, just like anything I could about it.
Right.
Who started it? Who makes this? Are the coaches real? Are the
Right.
coaches real people? Like, what
I
is
didn't
this?
know.
I went and looked at this post, and I still have followers, and I still follow them back from that post. And I
Right.
just think that's so cool to look back on, because over the years I've developed friendships with some of them,
Oh,
by
yeah.
just liking their posts in the app, or leaving comments, or making posts in the community, and them interacting. And I just think it's really cool that all the way from August of 2021, I still have friends in the app,
Yeah.
It's cool to look
And I
back
mean,
on.
it is good to interact there because I never saw your post and you were interacting, but I saw you through another athlete.
Mhm.
And so, because I interacted with that athlete and that athlete shared one of your first videos
Oh
that you put
gosh.
out,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know, then I was like, Marla, who is this Marla? And I never would have seen you or met you. So, interacting there, there's an algorithm, I'm sure, but interacting there is very important, commenting on people's posts. But it is an awesome place where you feel so much love and support.
What I think is also something important to mention, not only to get plugged into the official community page, but there are so many offshoot little external communities, that have sprung up because of so many people being interested in supernatural. You've got competitive groups, you've got groups for different milestones, you have groups if you want to focus on healthy eating and doing supernatural. You have groups that their sole purpose is to help motivate you to get in the headset by offering adventures or bingo cards. There's just so much out there besides the official community that you could plug into to really help you stay connected in your fitness journey, your health journey, your journey with supernatural. And I think it's really important to share those things. For me personally, I know if it wasn't for the external communities that I'm very much involved in, I wouldn't get in the headset sometimes,
Yeah.
Life can be overwhelming. A million excuses pop up. But if I'm signed up for a competition or a team event, I'm going to show up for my team. I'm going to
Yeah.
show up because I agreed to. I signed up for this, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do.
I think that everyone has their own style and their own way of saying things there and encouraging people, and everybody has their place. Everybody
Yeah,
belongs,
for
no
sure.
matter no matter what, no matter where you are in your life, no matter how old you are, no matter your fitness level. There's something there for everyone, and there's always, I love to read and see people's journey.
I feel like talking about the community and having an episode very specifically about the community and the
Yeah.
importance of getting involved.
It's
Get in
very
there.
important. Now we come to episode 3, where Marla and I talk about SuperSense and how your mood can affect your workout.
I want to talk about SuperSense because you see, last week we mentioned SuperSense during the episode. However, we did not circle back because we got distracted on all the other things we want to talk about. So
Of
I
course we
thought,
did.
yeah, I know. It's what we do.
Us distracted? No
so I
way.
so I thought maybe we could explain what SuperSense is, how to use it, maybe show some really cool video clips of some people using SuperSense,
Definitely.
and go from there. So, if you've never used SuperSense before, basically the targets disappear in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing about it is the better you do, the better you are with your accuracy, the targets sort of disappear sooner. So as you're learning how to do it, when you first start up a workout and you're in Super Sense, the targets will disappear farther from the portal. Like, so when they're closer to you, it's kind of easy to remember. But then as you keep getting more and more of the targets, they start disappearing farther away, like closer to the portal. And I just think that's really cool.
It is
It's
cool.
really Jedi mind trick type thing, you know?
It is. It's really fun, and I don't use it a lot because I honestly forget about it. It's better to use Super Sense, in my opinion, in a higher intensity than a lower one, because I think that
Yes.
you're trying to hit the target. I mean, you're always hitting the target on beat, but it's just easier, I feel like, on a high, a medium or a high. A low, for me, is way harder, but it may not be
Yeah.
that way for everyone. But you find Super Sense in your settings. It's going to be up at the top right-hand corner. It looks like a little,
Toggle thing.
yeah, little, yeah. So click on that, go under your settings. I did not check this to see which one you click on, but if you play around in your settings inside of your headset, you can turn Super Sense on. But when you go back in, you have to remember to turn it off, because what happens is we go into something crazy like a pros only, and then Super Sense is still on, and then you yell,
Yes. Then
hold
you
on,
yell.
hold on, hold on.
Yeah. Hold on.
We have
Just wait
to
for me. I'll
stop.
be right back.
The Super Sense is a lot of fun, and I think it really challenges you. So if you go into a workout that you used to be challenged in, and you no longer feel challenged in that workout, the next best thing to do is turn on Super Sense. Fun stuff. Everybody needs
So
to try it once.
I agree. I got a little full of myself, a little cocky maybe. And I decided to go into Return to the Madhouse in Super Sense because I know that workout like the back of my hand. Like I can hear the music. I know the choreography. I know it's about to happen. And I thought, well, this workout, it's very fast. I know it. It's like muscle memory kicks in for me.
Mhm.
I'll be really good. No, 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 no. I missed like 90 targets.
Oh no. At which song were you like, this was a big mistake, like the first one, or did you write it out
Yes.
for a little
Right.
while? Oh, you were
Oh,
instantly.
I mean, I wrote it out. I was like, okay, well, I'll just get better the more and more I do it. No, no. And I think I miss in sudden death. I probably missed more targets than the very first time I ever played that workout.
Oh, wow.
But it was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. And you go into a flow state. I didn't allow myself to really go into a flow state. That was the problem, I think.
I think it would
I
be
didn't
hard
let go.
to. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's hard for me to go in a flow state anyway, but I think in I have used it in Forget the Madhouse only. I've used it only once in a pros only, and it was in Forget the Madhouse, and it was challenging. It's quite
Yeah.
challenging. And
You
sometimes
know,
it can almost make you feel, because you do kind of have to give up that control, but it can make you feel some frustration if you're not ready for it. So
but
so
you know
maybe
the
it's not
best
good for the pros.
you know the best time to do Super Sense is in a party with friends,
Oh, that is
especially
so
if they've
fun.
never done Super Sense before, because you get to hear what, huh, what's happening? Oh no, I can't see it. There's so much laughter. It's absolutely ridiculous. You and I notice this a lot when we're doing workouts, new workouts, especially together. Like we realize that our mood has a lot to do with the way we're going to feel about a workout.
Totally
Did
does.
we do it together? Did my opinion sort of wear on your opinion and influence that, or vice versa?
Mhm.
Are we just in a crappy mood? And then we go and play it a second time to make sure, did I
Mm.
really feel this way about this workout? I know a few weeks ago we did a workout that you really enjoyed the day it came out. And you were like,
Mhm.
let's play this. And we played it in a group. And me and a couple of the other people like, well, why are we playing this workout again? What is this? Why are we
Even
doing this one? Yeah,
I
you
was
were
like, "Is
like,
this the
what?
same one?"
Right. But when we got to the last song, and then it was like,
Yeah.
okay, now I see why Julia really loved the last song. Choreo was great. But it's
Yeah.
funny because your mood, in your mind, you loved the whole thing so
Yeah.
much that you wanted all of us to play it with you.
Yeah.
But then we get in there and we're kind of like, huh? Julie, what happened?
What happened here? Oh man.
So I think it's interesting that mood definitely has an effect on the
It
way we
really
perceive
does.
the workout.
It
It's
does.
always important to give it a second try.
It is. It
I
is.
think so.
And now we come to episode 4. We have a lot of stuff we talk about in this episode. We talk about knee strikes, comparison of flow and boxing, and boxing form and style. Our knee strikes finally came to us on October 25th of 2022. So we had to wait so many months. After being told about them, it was hard to wait. And then they released, I think it was 3 flow and 3 boxing knee strike workouts. So kind
I
of how they
believe it
did
was.
when they released boxing. We'll talk about boxing one day, but we had to try them all in the one day and then almost hurt ourselves. So but were the knees for you the way that you thought they would be when they came out?
No, I guess I try not to have any expectations. That's
Right.
just the way I live life anyway. Then I'm not disappointed. I'm kind
That's
of
good.
just, just that way. But I was shocked by how hard I felt it was to do knee strikes and flow when I
Yeah.
initially did those 6 intro to knee strike workouts. It was because I was so used to my own style in flow. And I
Right.
often add knees or lift my knees when it makes sense to me.
Right.
And I would be standing, in a flow stance, wide, ready for squats and lunges and stuff. And then you had this knee, and it was difficult for me to figure out the stance for that,
Mm-hmm.
But boxing, I really enjoyed it in boxing for sure.
Yeah.
I loved it in boxing. In fact, I think I went back and did those 3 boxing workouts like over and over with the knee strikes.
Okay. Yeah. I think for me, it was really the same. They came out and, I was doing the workouts. I did all of them several times just to kind of see, how I liked them and what I thought of them. And, we have been flowing. I've been flowing since December of 2020. You've been flowing since August of 2021.
21.
And so that's a long time to kind of, get your style.
Yes.
I lean a lot with the targets and I really focus on what the triangles are telling me to do. And I try to dance when I can dance and move my body, the way the choreographers are telling me to, but also, I put my own style in it and lean and, lift my legs sometimes. And so when I'm doing a flow workout with knee strikes, I'm anticipating the knee coming. And so I almost feel like I've got to be on both feet on balance. And I almost feel like I can't, do my own style, and do the knee strikes too, because it feels like I might fall over sometimes. So.
Well, see,
But then in boxing, I felt kind of like you, I felt like it really it was easier because in the boxing, you're kind of standing in your stance with your 2 feet. And you're ready to go and you're ready for that knee and you can be more prepared for it. But
right. For sure. I do. And even now I still prefer knee strikes in boxing over flow.
Same.
And I love the balance work. I love testing my balance, especially with leg lifts. So knees just made sense, but it is still sort of difficult for me in flow. Just to make it flow, basically, to feel like it all is cohesive and goes together.
Yeah. So for me, if I had a knee strike flow workout, I would rather it be almost like that teaser video where we just have knee strikes. It's just, and you go in there and you're like, okay, we're basically it's more about the knee strikes than it is about
I see what
anything
you're
else.
saying.
So
less targets and more knees.
Right. So if knee strikes left out of flow and they only had them in boxing, I probably wouldn't be mad. I think that I would feel okay with that. But I don't know. There are ways that the knee strikes can enhance a flow if you think about boss moves.
That's true.
So there are times when they're used different ways. And I'm not going to say every flow workout I don't like them, or I'm not even going to say that. I actually think this is something that you and I could say that we always don't agree on. I will
That's very true.
like more flow knee strikes than you will.
You'll be like,
So
today's had really good knee strikes in it. I'm like, oh, really? And I give him a try and I'm like, Julia, what are you talking about? These are not good. But, it's okay to have
we should have a little scoreboard behind us of instead of our pictures, we should just have nope, Julia's wrong again. I'll put you in so many workouts that you're like, what are you doing?
Well, yeah, you were fired a long time ago.
I was.
You've improved over time. I'll say that.
I have. That
you do
one
pick
that
out
I
good
did,
workouts now.
Yeah, I do much better than I used to. So in episode 5, Marla and I discuss a little bit of a controversial topic. We talk about form and supernatural flow. It took me a while to help to fix my form. But not only, and I'm sure your form has evolved over your time in supernatural the way mine has, but so I've fixed, chilling out on not hitting the target so hard. But then I also learned how to not just use my arms. Because in turn, I had to learn to use my whole body and turn it into a whole full body workout. So I'm, leaning, using my legs, my core, my arms too, but not just my arms. So.
I think once you've flown for a while, once you've been doing flow, and you get past the initial, oh my gosh, there's targets coming at me, there's triangles, all of these things, I'm trying to focus, I'm trying to move. Once you get that stuff down and you start working on one thing after another, after you get the targets down, you move to the triangles and the movement with the triangles.
Right.
Then you can start focusing on really using your full body to hit targets. And then naturally you're not hitting as fast or as hard because your lower body is doing a lot of work.
Yeah, are fun.
Another thing I kind of want to point out when it comes to form, and you hear this a lot in the coaching when they consistently say, don't use T-Rex arms or straight arms, this, that, and the other. I think people misinterpret that the wrong way. And let me explain. To comfortably move your arm without shoulder pain, without injuring your shoulder, you need to bend. You need to be flexible. You need to be flowy. If you're consistently rigid and all of your movement is coming directly from your shoulders, that's a recipe for injury.
It is.
This is my opinion. I'm not a health professional. This is just my opinion from being and using Supernatural for so long and seeing so many other people go through injuries.
Yeah.
And then when I see their form, I'm not saying my form is perfect, but it is definitely something to think about when they're telling you don't be T-Rex arms. Don't just sit there and use your wrists. You can bend your elbows and you can move and flow and do what's comfortable. Obviously, if you can do a high flow with perfectly straight arms and not hurt yourself, well, more power to you. But I seriously doubt 99.9% of people can, honestly.
And I mean, how many people do we know that have had rotator cuff? Not only injuries, but surgeries. I know several athletes that have had to go in and have rotator cuff surgeries.
And I think it's important to follow the form that feels good to you to record. Yeah. Seriously, record yourself. You don't have to share it with anyone.
No.
But to look back and see what it is that you are doing while in the headset, because it's totally different than what you think it is. I promise you that.
Oh, yes, it definitely is.
Yeah, it could help prevent serious injuries later on. It can address some of the problems you might be having of the soreness and the injuries that you're dealing with. So I think it's very important to do that, along with paying attention to what the coaches say, obviously. But if you look in the community, they do those one-on-one videos or 101 where they talk about form and different topics. They haven't done one in a while, but I'm definitely going to find the one on form and post it in our group because Coach Doc and Mark went through it. And man, it was like a light bulb moment for me when Doc was like, listen, do what feels good for you.
Yeah.
You know, for me, and this is me quoting him. He was like, for me, I'm going to bend my elbows a little bit. You know, that's what feels good for me because I have a college football injury. And when they're saying don't be T-Rex, they're saying don't close yourself up like this and just be hitting targets with your wrist.
Yep.
So I just find that interesting. And especially, I do it in lows too. Lows, mediums, highs, and pros only.
Episode 6 is really fun because Marla and I discuss why we started the podcast and how that came about. We also talk about our thoughts on if Supernatural ever had a convention in the future.
When I work out, I oftentimes, this is one of the things I think about. Not only do I think about what if I was in the middle of Walmart doing this and people could see me. I know that's really weird. But one of the other things I think about is what would a convention be like? The people that we would get to meet, not only the athletes, there's so many athletes. Like one day you and I are going to have a podcast where we are sitting in the same room with each other. It's going to happen one day. It's going to be amazing.
That would be really rad.
We probably wouldn't even be able to podcast. We couldn't even act right. So
no, definitely not.
But to be able to meet other athletes that we've known, some people for me for 3 years, you know, and to be able to meet coaches, choreographers.
Yes, I was about to say, I want to meet behind the scenes people. I want to see the whole filming process. But, you know, I get that Supernatural is probably a little guarded about sharing some of that stuff. But like, give me all the behind the scenes stuff. I want to know how things are done, how they edit everything together for the workouts, the choreography team. I have 1,052,000 questions. And I also have lots of hugs for them because I'm a hugging kind of person.
Well, man, and that's what we're here for. For the love of the map.
Yeah.
If people don't know, I mean, I guess we've never really explained this. The map is the choreography.
Yeah, the mapping, the choreography. Exactly.
Mapping. So that's what we're here for.
Exactly. Because while we were friends before our love affair with mapping came to be, I suppose, that's really what got us hanging out together all the time and why we wanted to work out together all the time, because we wanted to experience workouts and talk about the mapping. And and this will be kind of fun. We should tell the people how this sort of started. Julie and I would join group parties with lots of other people, and we would start talking about the choreography and workouts, and we'd sort of take over the party, and everyone else would be quiet, and we'd realize, oh shoot, we've sort of taken over the party about talking about this hit or that hit or this workout and that. And, you know, everyone else is kind of focused on their day or their family or their life. And we're like, solely, we have blinders on. We're talking about mapping.
That's right. And they got quiet, and we realized that we were the only ones talking. And we were like, oh, they're not talking about this stuff with us. We have taken over parties talking about things that people are like, I don't even know what they're talking about. Or why I just get in the important to them.
Right.
Yeah.
So someone suggested, hey, why don't you guys do your own sort of like party and open it up? And we did. We hosted a party. It was like a Sunday party where the focus was just to talk about choreography, the maps. And it was open to anyone, and people would join, and we would pick the workouts. We would do all the same workouts and chat about them. And so that's how For the Love of the Map happened, because that's what we called it.
Right.
And Julie and I just talk so much about choreography and about mapping. And, you know, we had previously discussed starting a podcast about Supernatural
a year and a half ago, which is insane.
Insane, right?
And I was like, yeah, that would be cool. That would be fun. But that's not for me. I always said,
Right.
okay, but I never imagined that we would be doing it. And then one day you're like, but we are.
But we are, yeah.
Go buy your
Yep.
stuff. And I'm like,
go get your stuff.
What?
We do talk more about achieving our goals and finding motivation in episode 6, so you could go check out that episode if you want to hear more. But on episode 7, we talk about team-based community competitions and why they get us so excited.
Speaking of side-by-sides, community side-by-sides, that is probably one of my favorite things we did together last year.
Yeah.
When we decided to start doing them twice a month, just getting to see everyone come together and film themselves and the whole process, and you getting to put them together.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite thing last year.
It's
for sure.
really cool to spend that little bit of time that I do with each person, editing them in there, seeing everyone's style. I can recognize people from their I'll say living room, but not everybody's in their living room, their workout area. And if somebody changes it up on me, I'm like, wait, who is this? I don't know who, so it's so cool. It is so cool to see everyone in that one place together, the big rectangle or square, whatever that we put everyone in, moving together exactly the same. It's very powerful. Well, it's very fun to put them together.
It really is. And see how that all started. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but it started from team competitions.
Mm-hmm.
From the first team competition you finally joined, because you used to work out with me and be like, what are we doing today, Marla? Are you in a competition? I'm like, I am. I have to do such and such workouts. And you're like, okay, I'll do them with you. But you would never actually join the competitions, but you would do the workouts with me.
I would. I did them. All the workouts. It makes me wonder now how many, if I was actually in those competitions with you, would we have even been on the same team? And how would I have done? Because I did so many competition workouts with you. But that's the way that we were able to even dive deeper into choreography the way that we have.
It truly is. And that is
because we did some good workouts, but we also did some really
horrible workouts. And like multiple time horrible workouts.
Yeah.
You are the best friend ever, workout buddy friend ever, because you would suffer through one with me.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, Julia, I have to do this workout again. You're like, what?
Again?
And I'm like, you do whatever you want. I'm gonna do that. And she'd always say, no, I'll do it with you. And I'm like, oh, you're the best.
I would do them all. Well, and I think for me, I get in the headset, and I've said this before, and I kind of just don't want to choose some days. I just want somebody to just choose for me. So it kind of took, for you, it helped you get through your competition, but for me, it helped me not have that fatigue of choosing what I needed to do that day. It was like decision. Yeah. I just got in and I was like, tell me what to do, but that's our theme, right? Tell me what to do.
But I don't think you're alone. I think there are a lot of people who are also like that. And that's why they love competitions, because, it's just like, okay, well, here's your set workouts. Now I'll go do them. I know what to do. It gets them in the headset when they don't necessarily have internal motivation to get in. They'll get in for their team. But the first competition that you ever joined, and the first competition that we did a team side-by-side for, was the Euclid Harry Potter team tournament. And I talked Julia into this by saying, Julia, you can be on my team.
You did.
Will you join if you can be on my team? You can be like a helper. You can help me and Debbie lead Slytherin house. And she was like, really? I don't know. I had to think about it. And I'm like, so I sent her a t-shirt.
She did.
I sent her a Slytherin t-shirt.
And I was like, Slytherin? Slytherin? It took me a while to even be okay with the Slytherin part.
I know. And so I sent her a t-shirt, y'all. And
she did.
I'm like,
yeah,
she's either going to go, okay, I'll do this. And she did. And it was the best time to actually be on the same team together. We do a lot of theme events. So we go theme it up and we really get into it. And Harry Potter is probably our favorite theme tournament that we do.
Episode 8 is just filled with all kinds of things: burpees, hats, and even high points workouts. You don't want to miss this one.
But seriously, now that we've gone off on a tangent about hats and merch and
All the
burpees,
things.
I mean,
Burpees.
I did not expect to discuss burpees this morning. In fact, I can't even remember last time I did one. I think I did try to do 10 about like a year ago. And I was like, why am I doing this? This is dumb.
I think I was in a group, a supernatural group that had some like side challenges, and we would do some outside of the headset things, and it was like burpees, I think, one time, and I actually was able to do a lot of them. I hated them, but I worked my way up to being able to do like so many, and then I quit. And then now I probably couldn't do 10. So if you don't use it, you lose it.
This is true. This is true in all things.
Yeah.
Except for riding a bike, because you don't lose that one.
Yeah, that is very true. They say you lose your ability to skip. So everybody go outside today
and skip.
And go skip so you don't
for
forget.
Sure.
Yeah, at least once a week. Skip once a week.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, you should.
That sounds like
it's fun. It's
fun.
like being a kid again.
Yeah. I found a challenge that's getting me to do hard things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've also found a way to work out and have workouts that have high points. So
yes.
I'm trying to, I'm like, how do I maximize your time in the headset?
Yes.
So you have a graphic, and I'll put it in. And it's so helpful because, for me, I go in, I'm like, what do I do? And then you're like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm doing this one. And you're like, get out of that workout. That one is no points.
Well,
so you have workouts on a graphic that are fun and high points. So if you are looking for that type of thing, I will make sure that you have that.
Yeah. I have a couple of those types of go-to workouts and on graphics. I have one graphic I share that Julia will share here. And then I have some kind of hidden workouts too that I don't have on a graphic.
Yeah.
I know there's the community Airtable, and lots of people use it. It's an amazing free resource, has all the workouts. They even have it broken down to the best workouts for points per minute.
Mm-hmm.
This is my issue with that one. It does not tell you anything about the choreography or about the workout itself. Mm-hmm. And so this is why I have made my own list, because for me, there are lots of other workouts in the library that I could maximize my time, get more points, but I would probably complain the whole time because I don't like the choreography in the sense that it's just boring for me. Up and down movements. If it's just consistently up, down, scissor hits, the setup's not right. Mm-hmm. Setup is a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I need targets to lead me to the next target. I hyper focus on it, and I try not to.
Well,
but
because
I do.
I think it steals your joy sometimes.
It does.
If you do
takes me out.
Yeah.
I'm thinking then.
Yeah.
Instead of just flowing and going with the workout, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yes, I do have suggestions that I consider good choreography and also high points.
Yeah.
So how would you suggest people move from high intensity to pros only, Julia?
Well, I think there's two ways. Mm-hmm. One way is a smart way, and one way is a crazy, I won't say not smart, but maybe a crazy way. Just do them.
Yes.
Now, if you just go in and just do them and your body isn't prepared and you haven't trained for them, you could injure yourself. Mm-hmm. But if you go in and just do them and not care about your score and not care about if you miss a target or if you didn't get this certain pattern, you will eventually, if you do something over and over and over again, just get better at it. So if you go in and you base your first play on if you like it or not, I think that's really not a good way to go about that.
True.
But I think a better way, well, and I say this because that's how my journey started. I got in the headset and I played a low. Well, I did training. I played a low, then I played a medium, And then I'm like, well, all right, all that's left is a high. There wasn't a pros only when I first started. And so I played the high with a lot of fear. I was like, what is about to happen to me? I was like, okay, I can do this. So I don't recommend just going in and being a high flow person. I really think it's good to mix it up and keep your body guessing, but that's not what we're here to talk about. But I do think that starting with high, working your way up to a high, and then from there you can find some high plus workouts. We kind of call them like training workouts.
Yes, we do.
That you can, we can compile a list of them for you guys. But if you're curious, but doing those and working up to it, some people just can't go get in a pros only. They feel overwhelmed by the targets and the complexity, and some of the old pros, target density in there is crazy on some of the songs. So yeah, it would definitely be a journey if you're not just going to throw yourself in it and just keep doing it over and over again until you get it. If something new, a new pros comes out, that's kind of the way I do it. I just play it over and over until I figure it out.
Episode 9 is really cool. We talk about the choreography team, and we talk about some behind the scenes things that we've found looking on Instagram and Facebook and other places to learn more about them.
I want to talk about the choreography team.
Oh,
yes.
The choreography team.
I do. And
there's a choreography team?
I think so. I mean, I'm assuming. I know it's not AI who does the mapping, though. Lots of people in the community want to say that.
Yeah.
I know there is a team because I've done a lot of deep diving in the community.
Ooh.
I have a post.
Are you a spy?
Maybe just a little bit.
Well, get that out in the open.
Yeah, I'll be transparent. No. I've done a deep dive in the community, and I have a post where I went and found all of the information that I could possibly find about all of the choreographers and any content that they have had in the community group. And I compiled it into a post with links, and you can link and go see the videos that are available. But there are not a lot. And the ones that are there are from years ago. So, as a spy, is there like a conspiracy? Like, why don't we know who the choreographers are?
I know. Are they secret, like, hidden people that we don't get to know about, I guess? But your post in the community is an amazing post full of a lot of great resources.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good comments on there. A lot of things that people want to see.
For sure.
I think are really cool ideas. And you've just continued to watch for things and compare things. And
I
put
do.
them there, screenshots. And
as soon as I see anyone write a comment asking for some of the usual things that I know I've asked for, I want to see side-by-sides of the choreographers, playing their maps.
Yeah,
I would love to see that.
Really cool. Yeah.
And there are a couple, but they're not full-length ones. They're just like little snippets. And I've added that in there, but there are a lot of similar requests. So anytime I see those requests, I screenshot them and add them to a collage. And I try and keep this post that I made. It was sometime last year because it was right before I took my daughter to see the Nutcracker Ballet. Because I remember thinking, oh, that reminds me, there was a Nutcracker video of two of the choreographers kind of talking about the Nutcracker, I wanted to say episode, but Nutcracker workout that was coming out.
Yeah.
So anyway, point is, I try and keep the post relevant and update it with the screenshots of the people, because in the hopes that maybe one day we would get more kind of behind the scenes content from not just the coaches, which I just want to say I do appreciate all of the content the coaches give us, because they are out there, they share their lives with us. We see behind the scenes makings of workouts and like Coach Rainier's Instagram. I would love to see some of that from the choreography team, It
would be cool.
It would be
cool to see what they're working on. And I mean, I'm sure they can only share so much, but like how they go about, getting their
Right.
content and putting it together, and kind of what goes into a lot of those back end things that we don't get to see.
I know. I know. We get so excited about like the possible of seeing behind the curtain. And I get
Yeah.
that Supernatural wants to be protective.
Yeah.
We get it. But like can you show us some things? Like
Some things.
something?
I mean, like you said, we do get some glimpses on
We do.
Instagram if you really watch some of the coaches, and even Supernatural's Instagram page. They
Yeah.
will show you every now and again a little workout snippet of one of the coaches in the studio, working out with the blue screen, and some of the behind the scenes little, so I'm always pausing and like
Yeah.
unpausing, pausing, unpausing,
Same.
seeing what things I can see and what things I
Right.
could like deduce from what I am seeing. Trying not to make too many assumptions of what's going on, but I'm always like, oh, what's happening here? What are we doing? And I think that's how we were able to see some like knee strikes before. Like
Yes.
I paused and I was like, that's a different type of target, or it was just little, because we were waiting for those
Yes.
to come. And so I think there's a whole lot of things you can get from that. But
For sure.
back to the choreographers. Yeah, we want to know more about them. Even just a question and answer of
Oh man, a Q&A would
a
be
Q&A.
so
Yeah.
fun. And of course they wouldn't be able to answer all of the questions that the community asks, but they could have like a moderator in there, and I'm sure the choreographers know what they're allowed to talk about and what they're not allowed to talk about.
Right.
I mean, we just want to know who they are, see them.
We don't want to know where they live or anything. What's your favorite food? I mean, don't you want to know cool little facts about people?
I
I think
do.
that'd just be really neat to know
Or
a little bit of about each of them.
Yeah.
Just so we could relate to them, because they're the ones that put together the targets on these workouts that we are doing. So I think it would be really cool just to know a little bit more about them.
For sure. I have lots of questions for a question and answer session. I'm already prepared for if it ever happened one day. I have a list and I'll just be in there typing like, let's see if they can answer one of my questions.
So yeah, episode 9 is a really fun episode, and I urge you to go back and listen to it and hear all the things that we have to talk about, because that was just a small snippet of things that we know about the choreography team. So that brings us to episode 10, and episode 10 is a really special episode because Marla and I share our journeys of how we found Supernatural and how we heal our mind, body, and soul with VR fitness.
Our stories. Our supernatural
our
stories. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were going all the way back to our birth or what was happening.
That's why I thought I would clarify, because, man, I know we record long episodes, but like our whole stories, wow.
Yeah, that would be a lot. But then, yes, I found the headset. Bought it for my kids. It was just for them. And I put it on just to check it out, just standing in my home, in the home environment that the kids had set on there. I looked around for like 10 minutes in awe. We had bought them something like the year before. It was like this little plastic thing that you put your phone in, and it was supposed
Same.
to be VR.
Yes,
Yeah.
same.
And so I was expecting it to look like that,
Right.
just kind of like rinky dink, I guess. And I stood there just like, this is just putting it on. This is real. This is crazy. And it just disconnected me from reality. And I just kind of messed around in it for a few days, and I would take it from them when they weren't in it. And, they're, Mom, give us back our headset, and then, found different apps, and I played on different things and games. And I think I played virtual reality, which is just like a little game you go and solve clues, never even thinking about fitness. And I think I just did a search one day for fitness apps, and I found several. There's a lot more now, but there were a few, and I tried a few of them, and then Supernatural popped up, and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. And I put it on, and I did the tutorials. Leanne pops up. I've told the story that I didn't even think she was real. I thought she was like,
AI or something.
An AI or a CGI or a hologram. I didn't know what she was. But she was in my living room, did not think she was a real person because I didn't know about supernatural at all. Like, I had never heard of it before. Really, I hadn't heard of the Oculus. Is that what it was called then? It's changed names. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
Whatever
even
the
know.
thing is, we had a Quest 2, and I had never really even heard of that when we got it for the kids. So I put it on, saw her, did the tutorials, did my very first workout, and I was like, this is the most fun thing I have ever had done in my life. I couldn't believe it. And it was exciting, and it brought me joy. And I was just standing in my living room doing it, but thinking, I don't care who sees me doing this. I don't care. I just wanted to keep doing it. It was so much fun. And I think that day, my first day, I did like 5 or 6 workouts, which,
Wow.
as you know, that was
Wow.
like the worst thing that I could have done. I was so sore.
Did you get in the next day? Or did you take a break? Oh my goodness,
Marla,
Julia.
I was obsessed with this. Like, it was an immediate obsession. And I'm just so excited every time. Even if it's an old workout that I've done before, there's just something about going in there and hitting those balloons, and it stimulates some place in my brain. It's never a bad time. So,
Right.
So I would like to know, what is your story? Is it similar to mine? Is it different? How did you get started?
Similar in the sense that I had no desire to use the Quest 2. We bought it for our daughter for Christmas. She played on it. I didn't even get on it, like, for months.
Oh, wow.
For months.
You
Nothing.
never even, like, put it on your head or anything?
I mean, once to do the roller coaster game.
Roller coaster.
And I think my daughter was really big into Vacation Simulator at the time. And
I've played that too.
she would want to show me the little butterflies and the things she would collect. And so I would go in there. We would cast it to the TV, but she wanted me to go in. And so I would, but that was that. And I had a doctor's appointment. It was in August. And I had a doctor's appointment, and the doctor was like, Marla, something's got to give, something's got to change. You are not well. You will not make it another 10 years if you continue living the way that you are living today. You have a beautiful little girl. She was like almost 9, or she had just turned 9, I think, at the time. And the thought of only making it till like her 20th birthday scared the crap out of me. Like, that was on a Friday. And then that Monday I took her to school and I dropped her off, and I decided I'm going to do this program that I've seen some of my friends on the internet doing, which was called 75 Hard. And I went for a walk after I dropped her off at school. And then in 75 Hard, you have to do 2 workouts, 45-minute workouts a day. One has to be outside, so I went for a walk. And then the next one can be outside, it can be inside, but it has to be 45 minutes. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I remembered, this headset thing. I remember Beat Saber. My kid plays Beat Saber. That looked like a little bit of exercise, so I went in and played Beat Saber. And then when I got out of Beat Saber I went to the apps to see what else was available. I didn't even type anything in, but because I had played Beat Saber, Supernatural came up. So I downloaded it. And at the time, you could have a 30-day trial. And I did the 30-day trial. And my first workout was 45 minutes because that's all I could do. I could barely make it the 45 minutes.
Is a lot.
It was a lot. I did all the training stuff, all the intro things. I am someone who follows directions. I've got to follow the way it's intended to be. So I did that. And then I went right into my, first few little workouts, which resulted in 45 minutes. And I was winded, like seriously winded. And then I got up and did the same thing the next day and the next day and the next thing. And I did that for 75 days because I was doing 75 hard. And I just continued. And 3 years later, here I am getting the headset basically daily for a minimum of 45 minutes when I get in.
Marla and I love nothing more than prose only flow, so episode 11 is dedicated to us talking all about prose only.
We found our biceps that day.
Yes, we did. That was
the next day we could not. Well, you didn't do it, but the day
Right.
after you did it for the first time. But that day, the next day, I don't remember. I should have gone back and looked at this too. Like, I know I did it on the first day, but did I just do it once? Did I do it more? Did I do it twice? I don't remember. I'll have to go back and look now because I've sparked my own interest. But
right.
the next day, the arms were like, we're taking Motrin. We're sore all in our upper body. We needed help. But I don't think, and we'll touch on this when we have an episode just for itself. But
Yes.
if Mark did not get on there, and I think I've said this before, and make his video on the community and say, look, you guys, just get in there and have fun.
Yeah.
This is just fun. Which, down the road, somebody wants to make 100% accuracy club. We're like, ooh, 100% accuracy.
And that line drove me crazy because I was like, no. I'm in here for a reason. Yes, to have fun, but I need to hit every single target. Stop telling me to chill out.
Yeah, and this is the only one that I have not gotten 100 on. Other
Is it
than the
really?
Madhouse Monster. Yeah, I've still not gotten 100 on Welcome. Like one target away.
What's your nemesis song?
The Trooper.
The Trooper was my nemesis song too. In fact, I cannot tell you how many times I have gone to multiple chats calling the Trooper an a-hole because it stopped me from getting 100% multiple times. I did finally conquer and I burned that madhouse down.
You did.
It is my least favorite of the madhouses.
Yeah, but I think that it did make me appreciate Tornado of Souls.
For sure.
I had a real hate for that one because it was the last one. It was so long. It was so hard. It was really complex at that time.
Yes.
I mean, it still is complex. And I mean,
it's my
you're going in
favorite.
a real tornado. And now I just want to do Tornado of Souls. Like in the quick hit we got, spoiler alert, I want Tornado of Souls in that. And black metal.
One of my all-time favorite supernatural quotes is found in Tornado of Souls. And we promised each other we would not get stuck on madhouses during this episode because we plan to dedicate some episodes to madhouse because we could seriously talk about it forever. But anyway, we will put up Mark's quote here just so you can read it. We won't play it. You can read it if you're on YouTube. It's one of the best. It has made the most impact. I recall it in my memory when I'm doing hard things. And during that song, it's at a pivotal point where you could easily get lost in the choreography and get, miss targets or bonk targets or want to give up. But that, when he says, you reach inside yourself. I seriously reach inside myself and it gives me a second wind. And I'm like, I'm going to burn this madhouse down. Here we go. 100%. Let's go.
No Celine Dion's here.
No Celine Dion's here.
Then we move on to episode 12, where Marla and I talk about one of our least favorite topics, which is boxing. But somehow we talked about boxing for over an hour.
Oh, it's finally time to talk about boxing. I think we've put this topic off for a while.
It has been all me. I have pushed this topic off for a while. It is all me. I just find talking about boxing difficult, I guess. It's not, there's choreography in boxing, obviously. They're mapping, there is choreography depending on the music. In my mind, I'm thinking choreography, dancing, but we're boxing. But there are some boxing workouts that lend to dancing, right? So I've just put talking about boxing off for a long time, and today is the day.
Well, I mean, we've gone on a journey with boxing. We've had our ups and downs and our loves and our hates. I mean, when I started, there was no boxing, and I didn't have boxing for over a year. Well, maybe that's not right. It was under a year by 2 months. So boxing came out in October 26, 2021. Totally shocked me. I had no idea.
In 2021? Are you sure it was 2021?
Yeah, 2022 is when we got our knee strikes. So 2021, we got our boxing.
You are right. Wow. Where does the time go? No way.
I don't know. Because I questioned it too when I looked it up. I was like,
I think this is wrong.
21. No, it's right. It's on the cards right in front of
I
us.
see it. I double checked you. I was like, no. Really? I still don't believe you.
I know. It feels like to me that we waited longer for it than.
Yeah.
Well, not waited because I didn't know it was coming. I mean, I was running around the house. At that time, I had a nurse here with my son. She also played Supernatural. And she says, "Hey, did you see this? They just announced on the community page boxing." And I'm like, nuh-uh. And I get on and introducing boxing. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I felt like. Because, see, I started Supernatural in August of 2021.
Yeah,
I
so
feel like I was doing flow much longer than that. Wow, my brain
I do too.
is officially
I feel
blown.
like I was doing flow for longer before I got. I mean, it feels like I did flow for like 2 years before we got the boxing, but
Yeah,
but
like,
it may
I
just be
don't believe
because
this.
when it came out. Well, I'm glad I could blow your brain because
Yeah,
it doesn't
I'm
happen
like, what?
often. She's like, no, you don't know.
I'm
what you're
still
talking
looking
about. I know.
What is this?
2021. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, they threw these 6 boxing workouts at us on the first day when they released
Yes.
it, and which was really nice to get so many. We got 2 low flow. See, we can't do this. We can't talk about boxing, Marla. It's impossible.
Oh man,
We got
this is my
2
favorite.
low boxing workouts, 2 medium workouts, and 2 high. Well, no, that's not true. 1 high boxing workout and 1 pros only. We would know it was pros only if it had the square that said PO in purple next to it.
And
Can
not
we have that,
H.
please,
I
for
know.
everything?
And then
So,
pros only wouldn't have to be labeled pros only than the name. It could just be the name and then like different categories within pros only. Oh man.
we shouldn't even. We're gonna go off onto
Yeah, we're gonna go get lost.
squirrel. But it's true. It'd be so much easier for me to find in this app because I did want to pull all of these up, and it's not easy to find a pros
They're
only
not.
workout.
And I think there's so many factors that go into this. All right. I think we get a little lazy in flow and don't do the full body movements or go as low as possible in our squats and lunges. But in boxing, it's in the community a lot that boxing gives a better workout. Where one, and I know I hear this in the community a lot, that boxing gives a better workout than flow. And I think there's so many factors that go into this. All right. I think we get a little lazy in flow and don't do the full body movements or go as low as possible in our squats and lunges. But in boxing, we're so focused on staying in boxing form. All of our muscles are engaged. We're focusing on so many things. Okay, make sure you're stepping with your punches. Make sure, you're moving this way. And so maybe that's why our heart rates go so high. I don't know. But
I think so. The mental, like more the mental focus that has to go into boxing, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it totally uses different muscles, boxing and flow.
Yeah.
100%. I don't know, dude. I think, I definitely get, like, if you compare high boxing with high flow, I can get my heart rate up into the max on both of them, depending on the effort that I'm giving.
That's very true.
I often don't try and go to my max heart rate because I train at a lower heart rate for my own goals.
But my journey, I do believe the reason why I was frustrated was because I was trying to use a specific form that I really think that just did not work for me. Mm-hmm. And I just didn't feel comfortable with it. And once I kind of let go and kind of came into my own boxing form, because we're not in a ring actually fighting someone. So it's okay. It's okay if we're not, you know, I mean, don't do anything that's going to hurt yourself.
Right.
But, you know, be mindful of that. But if you're not having fun, of course you're not going to like it, you know?
Yeah.
If you want to learn all about the training that Marla and I do, episode 13 is for you. We talk about triangle training and madhouse training.
Training, like,
But
that sounds like a kind of a negative word, but in our supernatural world, no, it's important. You got to have that
if you want to get
and it can
better,
be fun.
Yes, if you want to get better at anything, you've got to practice. Practice is training, intentional. Mm-hmm. You know, this is talking about taking on triangles intentionally, right?
Yeah. It was about a year ago this time where I started to notice that the choreography, especially in the triangles, were changing. I don't know if you noticed it too. I know we talked about it a lot because we talk about choreography, but I noticed like there were more triangles and more variations of triangles. And I started to feel frustrated. Like, I'm just going to turn these things off. What is happening? And I don't know if it's just, I just all of a sudden started noticing them more. I really feel like something changed with the triangles and they started using them more. Yeah.
Well, and different. It wasn't just like a triangle tunnel.
Right.
Because we used to see that squats, all the time.
Or just lunges. Like, and when I started, that's kind of when you watch the triangle training that Supernatural gives you, because I think there is an actual one that will train you on the triangles, they need to make a new one.
Yeah.
And I have seen people in the community ask, all right, what are we doing with all these triangles? So I think that there are some new ones and it does need to be talked about and there needs to be a new video made. But I don't work there, so I can't do it.
Right.
But we can talk about it.
Yes, we can.
So I had to either like start ignoring these triangles, turn them off, something, because it was starting to affect my experience. Or I had to embrace the triangles, figure out what I was supposed to do in them, learn what was new, because I felt like they were almost like a distraction to me and I didn't want them to be. And I felt like they were there for a reason. And I felt like the choreographers put them there because they wanted us to do something. Obviously, if it was, I mean, there are triangles that are there. I think there's some tall triangles that are in some maps just kind of as fillers to, you know, to be there. But these were triangles that were making you move all over the place, and they were part of the dance and part of the choreography that we were given. So I wanted to do these triangles justice. Now, if you don't want to do the triangles and you want to do your own dance and you want to do your own thing, go for it. But for me, I just felt like not only were the triangles there for a reason, but I felt like they really helped me to move once I put myself through the triangle training. There is no real training. I just did it for myself and learned how to move in them to make my experience better. So basically, head underneath the point of the triangle, legs and feet at the bottom points of the triangle. If you follow that, you will be doing triangle training, because that's basically what I did.
So madhouse training. This all started because madhouses are intense, as we all know, and got us thinking, are there high intensity workouts or other pros only flow workouts that get you ready for madhouses? And we did find some. We definitely found a lot in the sense that they feature a lot of the same things that you'll find in a madhouse, such as drum rolls, complexity with 3 portals or even more than 3 portals, lots of movement. What else? All the things.
All the things.
All the
I
things.
mean, just
everything you would find in a madhouse. The challenge of it.
Mm-hmm.
You'll also find longer songs, especially like Full Throttle Roar, Hail to the King, which we now have a quick hit of. But
goosebumps every time.
It tests your endurance on these higher, more dense, complex tracks, helps you prepare for the madhouses.
Yeah.
And when I go back and I include the madhouse training workouts, any of them, there's 7 of them. But if I keep those in my rotation and then I go do a madhouse, I'm a lot more prepared for them. My brain's not super overloaded, and either is my body for that matter, because I've been preparing for it. And I often give this list to people in the community and post about it in comments when someone's like, I just did a madhouse today. How do you crazy people do this? Blah, 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 blah. I'll say, you train. Here, go try these workouts. They're much farther down than the madhouses, but they'll get you ready. They'll get your body and your mind ready for mastering a madhouse.
I'm only going to share one tiny little clip of episode 14, but I urge you to please go watch this episode in its entirety. We have special guest Justin, one of the supernatural choreographers, on to talk to us about the madhouses.
To describe my process for choreography is I like to do what the music tells me to do, and that doesn't always make a lot of sense, so I'll do the best I can to explain it. But essentially what that is I like to sit down with whatever song or songs I'll be working with that day, and I'll listen to them probably 2 or 3 times before I actually get into the mapping process. And while I'm listening, I'll see if there's anything that my body kind of naturally reacts to in the music, and I'll take a note of that. Or if I'm already in the headset and I'm listening to it in our mapping tools, I will kind of just put down the targets that I need to kind of emulate that move, and I'll just be like, I'll come back and fix that later, make sure it's all nice and pretty and presentable. But just getting like the baseline for the movement down is like, I want to have that ready to go, so that way when I come into that point, if I need to find a right setup to go into that move, it's just kind of already there, and I can figure out how my body would naturally go from one place to the next to interact with each move in a sequence. But it mostly comes down to the ebb and flow of the music itself and how my body naturally reacts to the way the music is kind of just presented to me.
For episode 15, Marla and I talk about the choreography style that is very flowy.
Sometimes workouts overlap, but the ones we should talk about today are just super flowy flow.
Well, and it's throughout the whole workout. It's not just, this song here, this song here. We're talking about ones where the whole entire workout is just this flowy thing.
Like,
I don't like to say thing, but it's just, that's the way it's put together.
It's a flowy experience.
But the side-by-sides that you shared with me when we were talking about this, most of your side-by-sides, and you may just now be realizing this, or you may already know, they're all the flowy type.
Well,
the ones of you alone, the ones that you like and you film, a lot of them are the very flowy flows.
It is.
That you connect with the most, I feel like.
It is 100. You figured me out. No, I do film myself a lot. So, but you're right. I think the ones that I film just for me or when I'm alone are definitely super flowy ones. On occasion, I'll reach out and be like, "Hey, go film this." But a lot of times, you're right. Wow, I didn't even. Yeah, it's because it's the experience. It's the music. Flowy flow hits me in my soul. It's like, I know I talk about this a lot, and that it's like a therapy session for me to get in the headset. But the flowy flows just do something to me. They make me feel graceful and beautiful and feminine and all the things that as an older mother who works full time, who, wears a million different hats, it reminds me, hey, this is me. This is who I am. So maybe that's why I film them. And it's easy for me to just like put a dress on over.
That's right.
And it goes with the flow.
Yeah. It's so fun to flow in a dress.
It really is.
If you haven't flown in a dress, flown, this is funny to say. If you haven't done supernatural flow in a dress or flown in an airplane, I guess too, whatever. If you're a dude, try it if you want. We're not saying to flow in a dress, but women, flowing in a dress is the most freeing.
It really is.
Beautiful feeling, especially if you record yourself. Because a lot of times Marla will be like, do this one and wear your dress, because you got to have your dress for this one.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the jazz ones. And,
yes. Like
there
are so many in this category, but we should probably start with lows. And you said a lot of the jazz ones. I would also say sweat symphonies lend themselves to flowy flow.
Yes.
Where lots of tails and the setup, when you finish the tail, ends in a great target. Mm-hmm. Those all go really well together. Indie workouts,
yeah. Going back to sweat symphonies, I think that was actually, as a supernatural user, one of the first times where I was kind of shocked that I could move like this and enjoy working out, because essentially we are working out.
Yeah.
In a symphony, a sweat symphony, where there's symphonic type music,
classical music, and
classical
ballets, and
So you're like, this is weird, and you click on it, but gracefully as you go, it just the movement just feels so good. And sometimes, before we get into the lows first, you just have. I'm kind of trying to figure out, when would you say, hey, I need one of these workouts. Sometimes we just need a good stretch, or you have this feeling, or you need, you have something you just need to release or let go. I think that like you said, you want folders so you can go and be like, this is today I'm feeling like this day. Today I feel like I need to go do a madhouse. I got some rage I need to get out. But these are just for like, you just want to just gracefully flow and just kind of let things just go, maybe, that you're feeling.
I agree with that. I think that's a perfect description, and the reason I would pick a flowy flow. I do often try and incorporate them into a warm-up workout because they are so expansive with the moves, and it allows for you to really fully stretch out. I have a couple of lows that I use that specifically for. In fact, I did that this morning. I've worked out once today, and my first workout of the day was a medium, super flowy workout, one of my all-time favorites, Florence and the Machine. We will talk about it when we get to medium. Yes. But that was my first workout of the day, and let me say, it set the tone. I was fully stretched. I was moving and grooving, happy, moved on to highs after that.
Some people like to do supernatural in some very different ways. So on episode 16, Marla and I talked about supernatural shenanigans.
I think we should talk about just shenanigans.
I'm 100% on board with this. Supernatural shenanigans.
Yes.
And how to stay engaged when you're kind of bored. Yeah. And you want to try something different.
I've even gone back to some 2020 and 2021 workouts.
Yeah, I've been meaning to send a wellness check your way because I keep seeing it pop up on your journey, and I'm like, what is she doing? Why
and
is she playing
you normally ask me, you're like, why did you play that?
Yes.
What are you up to?
I'm like,
what are you doing?
Are we researching? Are you taking on the old 2020 workouts so I don't have to? What is happening?
I have to go back and play some old OGs so I can get that feeling of, oh yes, this is where we started. And it is that for me. I know some people will play them and be like, what in the world is this? But for me, it's like nostalgia that I need. So every now and again, hurt my shoulders. My shoulders hurt so good. That's great. But when we don't have things to go back on and we get bored of that, we kind of go into shenanigan mode.
We do.
So,
and we start adding extra things to workouts or not doing the workouts like they're intended. Last week in the community, someone posted a video of them doing a workout while they were on a stair stepper. And I had lots of thoughts. And Julie and I are like, yes, Julie and I are on like,
look at this.
Total opposite ends here. She's like, that is a hardcore workout. Could you imagine? And I'm like, no, that's silly. Just do deeper squats and lunges. And she's like, no. Think about all the balance work you have to do and the coordination of stepping. And I'm like, no. Mm-mm.
But your question was how wide could you do the arm hits? But does it impede how much arm movement you can do?
It is definitely core focused, and it involves a lot of balance, which is something that I love when it comes to balance work. I am all about that. So I could see, but man, it would be so hard not to want to pick up my feet and move around. Well, this video sent us down like a rabbit hole.
We spiraled.
Yeah, we did. Of looking at all the past ways other supernatural athletes have attempted to do supernatural. One where she was on the ground with her controllers on her feet, hitting targets. Now, she did this multiple times. She tried to perfect how she was going to connect them to her feet. She even had you doing it at one point. I know our friend Crystal tried it at one point. I have never tried it.
I bought the archery armbands.
Oh, wow.
That's what she recommended.
Yeah.
I have them, and I see them every time I get my headset out. I see those archery because they're in the cubby hole where my headset lives, and I'm like, and I think about the controllers on the feet, and it's just, I'm like, take it out of my memory because it is hard.
Didn't she try a madhouse that way too? I can't remember.
It hurts to be on the floor.
Yes.
Laying like that with your neck, it strains your neck. So she went to the couch, and so I tried it I can't do it long, even on a low. It is difficult. You can find a slow low. Like there's like slow lows and there's low plus. I found a slow low. It's like 15 seconds and you're done. Your abs are on fire. Your legs are on fire. You can't even go anymore. Like you can't do it anymore.
I'm not going to highlight anything from episode 17, but Marla and I did a really fun Q&A. You should go listen to the episode. There's a lot of questions that the community asked us and a lot of laughter. On episode 18, Marla and I discussed workouts that make us dance.
So today, we mentioned a few weeks ago, we talked all about flowy flows, and I promised myself I would never say that sentence again because like hearing that podcast over and it was like flowy flow. Oh man, that drove me crazy. Anyway, we mentioned styles of flow, right? We talked a little bit about it. Let's talk more in detail about dancey flow today. And
this one made our heads spin thinking about this because we had a full circle conversation about what is dance.
I started overthinking a little bit because it's very subjective, right?
Yes.
If you like the music, if the music makes you dance, you're going to dance. Are you a dancer already? You know, does music naturally make you dance, or are you someone it's difficult to get to move? So is it the choreography making you dance? Or is it the music making you dance? Or is it a combination? It's just, oh man, my brain was like, la, la, la. Yeah.
Episode 19 was one of those really special episodes where we got to have on Coach Doc and have a conversation with him about Supernatural.
You know, not an athlete.
Well, and that's another cool thing I don't think we talk about it much is for folks who have never worked out, had a coach, been on a team, the experience you're getting, that's what I grew up with.
Yeah.
Like that's what I had from the age of 4 to 21 was someone being just right there pushing. And so it baffles me in a sense that like, wow, you didn't get that? Like, oh man. But the fact that you get to have it now, but so it's something I think about often is, oh, I have to realize I can't take this for granted and what this means for some folks, because this has just been a part of my life. But for some people, this is the first time anyone's ever called them an athlete, told them good job, told them I see you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're right. You're right.
And then last but not least, Marla and I talk about what makes us keep coming back to Supernatural day in and day out.
Supernatural is just, it's different and it's the best. It's just the best.
Yeah. And I think for some people, and a lot of people actually, it just gets you right from the jump. It's just so fun.
It is.
For me, that is the main selling point. It is fun. Every day is something new, right?
Yeah.
And there are lots of workouts that we go back to often. But for me, it's fun. And I don't realize I'm working out.
Yeah, true. We have our 6 wonderful coaches who visually, when we turn the headset on, they look real. I mean, they are real. I know that's a joke. I didn't think they were real at first. But when they're standing in front of you, they look like you could just reach out and touch them, like they're there with you. And they're there with you throughout the whole workout. If you leave them on, Marla says so.
Yes.
And they
Never.
tell you such,
Don't turn them off.
don't turn off the coaches. And they tell you such good, amazing, good, uplifting is the word I was looking for, things while you're working out. And they help you with your form, your moves, to blink your eyes, to breathe. They're just there with you. And a lot of times they're telling you, I'm here with you. I'm doing what you're doing. I'm experiencing what you're experiencing. My arms are burning too. My legs hurt too. So just knowing that you're not alone, because that's where I'm having fun. And fitness has to be fun for me or I'm not going to do it.
Same.
I don't want to meet you at the park and go on a run. I will walk. I think walking is great, but I don't want to go on a run with you at the park, so don't invite me.
Don't invite me. That's hilarious. Yeah, I just think Supernatural's different. They figured out a way to brainwash us, man. That's how I feel sometimes. Like, went from this totally sedentary person who didn't move, who I've always been sort of positive, optimistic. I always see the best in situations and choose to laugh more than I cry. I choose to laugh. You know what I'm saying? It's always been my mindset. But to get in the headset and listen to the coaches brainwash me into believe in myself and believing that I can do anything I want and knowing I can. Like that's the thing. I don't just, I know I can. I get in that headset and you hand me a pros only or anything and I know I'm going to succeed to the best that I can.
Yeah.
I just think Supernatural offers something that no other app does. Like you said,
They
the
do.
locations, it's so immersive. The choreography, so innovative
of course,
and different.
The choreography.
Yes.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with us. We appreciate you so much.
We really do. And don't forget, the real joy and love of Supernatural is in the journey you go on. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on today's episode of For the Love of the Map. As always, you can join the discussion on our Facebook and Instagram profiles. The links can be found in the description box below. If you find value in our content, we'd appreciate if you'd share this show with your friends. See you guys next week.